the demand for housing is through the roof, right? So what happens when you get these types of properties, folks, you start renting it today, 2050. What about 10 years from now when there's like another 100,000 people living there? These new construction build-to-rent homes are so profitable for people looking to grow long-term wealth. And if all that wasn't cool enough, folks, you could buy it with no money down. Why? Because my friends at Rent to Retirement, they work with lenders. They see that they are focused on these markets where the population growth is trending up and up and up. Welcome to the Investment Properties for Sale show, folks. Thing is selling at or above list. We are going to provide you guys with complete transparency and education. We take you to the video tour, HoltonWiseTV, giving it to you straight. In 1990, do you know what the population of Atlanta was? It was 394,017, all right? Now, 33 years after that, right? It's 2025 right now. I don't have data from 2025. The most recent data is 2023. You know what they estimate the population of Atlanta to be? 510,823 people, okay? That's incredibly important for you to understand as I bring you the offering we have for today. This is the Peach model. It is a brand new home located in Locust Grove, Georgia. For those of you that have never heard of Locust Grove, because who the fuck has, that's a suburb of Atlanta, y'all, okay? It's like a half-hour drive from Atlanta, okay? So what we're really talking about here, folks, is we're talking about the Atlanta market. And what is impressive with the Atlanta market is the insane amount of population growth that we are seeing, right? 394,017 people. That was in 1990, right? 10 years later, they were up to 416,474. 10 years later in 2010, 420,003. 10 years later, 498,715. That was 2020. 3 years after that, 510,823, guys. The growth that they are seeing in Atlanta, right? We can't build houses fast enough for the demand out there. And that is incredible, right? Because you take a look at this Peach model, right? It's going to come to you for about $343,000, okay? Nice, brand new. Everything's mint, looking good, 4.2, okay? Market rent today, 2,050. But let me tell you, what happens in an area, in a place, and that's, by the way, that's why you got to move out side of the city of Atlanta, folks. That's why we're going out to the suburbs. That's why we're going to little places about a half hour or so out called Locust Grove that none of y'all ever heard of. Why we got to do that? Because there's so many people moving in, man. We got to fill up the land because the demand for housing is through the roof, right? So what happens when you get these types of properties, folks, you start renting it today, 2050. What about 10 years from now when there's like another 100,000 people living there? When we have a friggin' explosion of population growth, 10 friggin' thousand people a year for basically the last friggin' 35 years, okay? What happens to that $2,000 rent? You think it's still going to be $2,000? I don't. It's just probably going to be about $3,000, okay? You know what's cool, though? You know what your mortgage payment's going to be 10 years from today? Probably about the same as it is today, okay? So your mortgage is here, your rent is here. In 10 years, your mortgage is still here, but your rent is right here. And guess what? What about resale value? Well, what do you think the resale value of your home that you bought brand spanking new for $343? What's that going to be when 100,000 people move into the area? That's why these new construction build-to-rent homes are so profitable for people looking to grow long-term wealth. And if all that wasn't cool enough, folks, you could buy it with no money down. Why? Because my friends at Rent to Retirement, they work with lenders. They see that they are focused on these markets where the population growth is trending up and up and up. The asset itself is what secures it. The asset is so safe that the lenders are down to give buyers like you, no money down deals because they are secure. Their money is secure because the asset is so high quality, right? So you could buy this with no money down, or instead of that, if you really wanted to, you can use some builder incentives and you could buy down your interest rate if you wanted to go that route to cash flow even more. Me personally, I would try to stretch it out and get as many of these as I could with no money out of my pocket because the rents are going to continue to go up. The value is going to continue to go up because the population in Atlanta, the population trends, the job trends, some of the best I've ever seen in any of the markets I've ever studied, worked in, or analyzed. That's where you want to be, right? If that makes sense to you, and you guys want to be able to buy this property, you just got to reach out to my friends at Rent to Retirement. My guys probably have them on the screen right now. If not, I'm sure it was up on the screen beforehand or it's in the show notes below. You can reach out to them, discuss the opportunity to buy this house or other houses in any of their other markets. And the markets they focus on, guys, they focus on high quality, high-end rentals, all new construction in places where people are moving in, not places where they're moving out, right? So if you're one of those investors who just likes that like Section 8 cash flow, that's fine. But you got to remember those cheap little Midwestern properties you're buying, those are in areas where the population is going down. Why is the population going down? Because they're moving out of those places. They're moving out of Detroit and they're moving into Atlanta, right? So you got to pick your poison. But with these guys, with what you're going to see here is you're going to see a ton of rent growth. Reach out to them if you want more info.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to HoltonWiseTV for more financial information, education, and entertainment.